Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it.
Oh my goodness.
How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. Man, that is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to the Smash Factor Week 12 on the 2022-2023 PGA Tour, the American Express. We get a 54-hole cut, 3-course rotation, but a good field, solid field, a lot of strategy to be had. Looking forward to it. Another week of golf. NFL is down to the final 8. So we're slowly moving to all eyes on PGA within Gov's Corner. Last week, I should have this out lunchtime or so today. It's early Tuesday morning. Last week was hit or miss. Did okay. Got, 50-60% of my winnings or entries back. A lot of the bottom in 7K range, 6 dock of the week. Some guys that were 1, 2, 3% did really well. 9K range, I kind of made the deal by the time we got to Wednesday with the premium members and all that I was pretty much going to play Connors and Mav and fade everybody else in the 9K range, which wasn't horrible. The only one I think that really would have done better was Montgomery. So outside of him, that wasn't bad, but man, Spieth. I had Kim, and I went Spieth, Matsu. Matsu made the cut. Showed a little life on Saturday. I thought he was actually going to finish strong Sunday, but didn't work out. But Spieth was real brutal. Had him as a first-round leader, so that was huge on betting. Got us a little profit for the week, locked in. 35-1 on first-round leader, but chopped 3 ways. So I think whatever that comes out to, 16-1 or 11.7 or something like that to 1. Had like 40% 5 of 6s with just a sprinkle of 6 and 6 in there, and the amount of 5 of 6s with Spieth in there. Tom Kim won, he killed it as well, but he never. Well, he wasn't first round leader first of all, but never felt like he got it going. But the Spieth one hurt. If he makes the cut, I think we have a really solid week there because he really wasn't that high on with M and Kim ownership so high. It wasn't that horrible. But that stuff happens. Still, going into, I think, later Saturday into Sunday, had a top 10 in the $5, was sprinkling in and out of there, kept jumping around, just couldn't get them all to close well. Matsu was in that. He shoots +1 on Sunday. Obviously didn't have, I think, Buckley was in that lineup. He falls back. Siwoo was not. I did not have Siwoo last week. So overall, I felt like the process was pretty good in there. Just couldn't put it all together, and then the Spieth disaster kind of hurt the strategy as well. I want to give a big shout out to Brian Rizzo in the GC Warrior Slack community. Made it to the Tournament of Champion Finals. I don't know. I assume that it's the Super Bowl, but good luck to him. Got a chance at some big money there. That was cool to see. I think Sundays when he put that in there. So they must have done, I don't know what they did it on. Maybe the 3-game slate on Sunday is what the qualifier was there, but big shout out to him. You want to join the community right now, Smash, get you 20% off any package, includes a 7-day risk-free trial, locked in for life on that price. You can upgrade anytime, downgrade if you upgrade and decide you want to go back, doesn't matter. As long as you're a member, you get that locked in, 7-day free trial, get you access to everything on the site. As long as you do a full site, you can do the content only if you would like. Rate and review us on iTunes. We'll be doing our, definitely for the players, and then huge drawings for the Masters like we do every year. Those get you into the drawing by leaving us a review on iTunes. Subscribe and like this video on YouTube. In the comments section of the video, tell me who you want to play in the 10K range. You got 5 options there. I think Xander will probably be the lowest owned, just with all the concern, the back, and all that. So I didn't go fade. So I'm going to say, who do you want to play? Maybe it is Xander. Maybe you want to take the chance on that. But if not, you got Cantley, Scheffler, Rahm, and Finau. A lot of studs there. A lot of good history between those. Let me know who is your favorite play there. Listener League should be up by either today or tomorrow. I mean, today when I post this, or tonight. DraftKings was off yesterday for Martin Luther King Day, so little delay there. Plus, I had a switch in my DK VIP host, so still have it out. Plan to. Assume I'll get it out sometime today. Let's get it filled up early so we can grow it. Last week's winner, Mr. Mike 13, solid lineup: Harmon, McNeely, Montgomery, Poston, Kirk, Lipsky. So he fades all the 10K range. I think Harmon was in the 9K range. Actually, Harmon, Mav, and Montgomery. So pretty balanced build there, solid. A really good week for him. I sent the invite out for the League of Champions, and hopefully we get the Listener League out today and get that full. We're back in Cali for a little West Coast swing now. Should be better on the showdown and betting stuff. Certainly difficult to get all that waiting for the Hawaii times to end so late, especially Thursday and Friday. I don't even think Friday they finished round 2. There's one guy left to finish. I think it was Davis Thompson. And so with him having to finish, they didn't finish anything on paying outs or anything until Saturday morning. He needed a 3-putt or better, and he was going to make it. So it looked like he was going to make it, but he didn't want to risk it as it was getting dark. So anyways, West Coast, Cali gives us a little bit earlier start times and finish times on that. We had 3 courses this week: Nicholas, La Quinta, and Stadium course. 2 rounds at Stadium and then 1 at each of the other. As I mentioned, 54-hole cut. And it is a Pro-Am, so a little bit longer rounds. A lot of guys here. I think this full field, because you get 3 courses, right? So you got plenty to, I think 156 guys. Cut after Saturday, so make sure you do get 3 guarantee rounds outside of a withdrawal. All courses rank inside top 5 to 10 inside the tour of easiest. Stadium, Pete Dye track, Bermuda greens, smaller greens, some trouble there. If you get off, you get in the bad, you get off on your round, you can shoot higher scores there. It's the hardest of the 3, but you can go low. I mean, if you're on, you can certainly go low there. We've seen it many times. Be interesting. So you can't have showdown advantages. The wind and weather doesn't look like much this week. So you, between La Quinta and Nicholas, figuring out which one you think may be the easiest scoring versus what everybody else is doing. Typically, you can pretty much fade the Stadium course and showdown. We'll get more into that tomorrow night. Even last year, I went back and looked back. I did put out a round 1 showdown rankings given the 3 different course setups. So we'll pay attention to that. With the books, you'll have to see if your book offers first round leader per course, or if they mix them all together. Most are a little bit sharper today than what we were 4 or 5 years ago. So you really don't see them mixed much. So overall, if they have it per course, I'd normally put out bets for that if there's enough value. It's a lot smaller field, obviously, splitting it up by 3. But if not, we'll definitely have some showdown advantages. I have notes on it from the Nicholas and La Quinta and where where most people will go to, and do you have a chance to go elsewhere. Stadium's so tough because there will be guys that go low, but predicting that and who exactly it is a little bit difficulty. Remember in 2021, if you're doing your course research history, they did play 3 rounds at the Stadium course. That was kind of the COVID situation coming out of it still. And so I think they played Nicholas 1 round and Stadium 3. I'll double check that, but definitely 3 that year at a Stadium if you're looking at past results. Weather looks great. Like I said, a little chilly. There's some high 30s, low 40s early, but overall no winds, hardly no rain. Be up in the 60s by the middle of the day. We'll take a deeper look into that tomorrow night on E9. I have the cut around -7, -8. And the winner will be -22, -23 range is what I have it. Some prior winners, Hudson Swafford. I went back and looked at my rankings. He was actually in my top 10 of the rankings last year. So didn't get the bet on him. I think he paid 250 to 1 or whatever, but I don't think I did. I can double check that. But definitely had him in some DraftKings, which helped a lot. He was 6,700 last year. Siwoo Kim 2 years ago, Andrew Landry, John Rahm, Hudson Swafford again, Duffner, Patrick Reed have all won here. Some runner-ups, Hoagie, Cantley, Hadwin, Landry again, Hadwin, Lingmerth, had a 6-way tie for second. Way back had Hoffman, Kuchar, Palmer. So you can kind of see a little bit of everybody can win here. Definitely got to have a, somewhat of a lukewarm hot putter to fill up the birdies here. And you got to do well at the stadium course, survive it. Doesn't look like, we'll definitely take a little bit better look into this deep dive tomorrow that, theoretically, if you had a day that stood out over the other three, you would want to try to maybe play the guys with the easiest conditions on the stadium. Right now, it looks like 3 almost identical days. So I don't think there's going to be a huge advantage at all there. But we'll take, if there is one, we can pull out the heat maps and do that stuff if needed. Stats I'm looking at, I really did good at this tournament last year, so I kept it about the same. Good drives, par 5 DK scoring, birdie or better, strokes, opportunities inside 18 feet, and accurate approaches. 35 of these guys are new to the course since 2017. Salary ranges 5 in the 10K, 8 in the 9K, 10 in the 8K, 42 in the 7K, 91 in the 6K. So once again, which is going to be kind of normal, 133 guys, 7,900 or less. But they are spreading up the top a little bit. You got, 8 guys in the 9K and in your 10Ks, a little tight. You don't have, they're not, I can't even remember the last tournament they had a solo guy up at like 11-3, 11-6. We used to see that, especially if you had, like a Rahm, one of those, but kind of keeping it a little bunched up, letting you make your choice up there who you want to go with and then build from there. Normal format for me, Sweet 16, salary range. I'll give you my top 3 that I like right now. And a bubble boy, fade of the week, sleeper of the week, gut feel plays. Then our betting top 5 the pop and 2 long shots provided by Prize Picks and Underdog. We got a dollar for dollar match up to $100 going with them. Both of them back this year as sponsors to Gup's Corner. So 9K and above, I like Cantley. A 9th, a 2nd, a 9th here, 16th at TOC. Obviously, longer rounds, I don't think really affects him, but I mean, he's just number 1 in stats, 7th, 2nd, 6th in the top 4 stats I'm looking at. And his worst stat is 31st in accurate approaches. 16th at the TOC, struggled early, kind of came on a little bit over the weekend, maybe shaking off rust, whatever. Again, 3 times here, never missed the cut. I mean, obviously never missed the cut, never finished outside the top 10. So I get discount from Scheffler and Rahm. Final's right there. Sungjae's right there, although he burned a lot of people last week. Schauffele is right under him, which I don't think is going to pull much ownership away, but I do think he's not going to be super talk. Well, I think he'll be owned, but I think it's going to be so spread out up here. It's really going to come down to not overextending yourself up here, get conviction on the ones you really like and fading the others, which is always tough up top. But we saw it last week, almost worked out for my strategy and kind of what I talked about where, hey, I'm going to fade. I think I faded 10 of the top 14 price guys or something like that. And Spieth makes the cut, who knows? But that's the kind of odds I want because I get more combinations of the guys I'm really in on that week. I've leveraged myself. I still played Tom Kim, but I faded. So I can't remember who I was up there. Henley, guys like that. I think even Harmon that were going to be higher owned as well. And some of those guys made the cut, but none of them really came out and did much. I think, like I said, I had Connors and Mav, and both of them were up there. And then Montgomery was the only one I faded that I can really remember that was really up there all week. I think he finished 12th. So I think that's the way this week it could work out. And Cantley's one I'm willing to go to. I think he's going to have a big year overall. And he loves this place, apparently. 3 top 10s are better. So top 9s are better with the second place 2 years ago. Then I'm going to go Sungjae. I think the bounce back week, I was going back and forth between him and Kim on the bounce back week. I'm going to go with him because of more how he's done here. Trust him a little bit more. I love Tom Kim and I may still play him, but I like him as far as we sit here early Tuesday morning. He's got a 12th, a 10th, a 12th, and 11th here. So, rates out 6th overall for me, 10th in stats. You know, putting, he's 38th. Just a lot to like there. Played 4 straight years, finished 12th or better in all of them. I don't really see any reason for him not to do that this week. Maybe get some lower ownership as he burned people last week. We'll see. I'm going to go back to Willie Z. Played him at TOC. A lot of people were worried, nervous. Played well and finished with his best round on Sunday. So you get an 11th there. He played here last year and got a 6th. You know, I maybe ownership's down. Again, I think anybody in the 9 and 10K, I think it's to be very spread out because you have a lot of different options here and a lot of combos and ways to go. There's always going to be 1 or 2 that stand out as great leverage, but I don't see just right off the bat anybody being super high owned over the rest. We'll see. You know, Rom Scheffler, how's that shake out? But Willie Z, you know, he's a popular guy, but where he's at in price, you know, maybe a lot go to him, and then Kim all of a sudden becomes a pivot. That's something we'll talk about tomorrow night as we get through the week. But I like Willie Z as it stands right here now. My bubble boy is Cam Young because I do think he could be one that gets talked up, hyped up. Saw a few bets on him already, and I don't mind that. I like his number. You know, somewhere between 22 and 25 right now. 13th, again, right there, kind of where Willie Z was at TOC. Missed a lot of putts. Watched him a lot. 40th here last year. Not great, but I do like that he's seen this. He's seen the rotation, made the cut. Don't hate that at all. And again, remember, when we say made the cut, it means a little bit more here because it means you had to go. I think last year's cut was 8 under. So you had to go kind of low those 3 days to make it to Sunday. But miscut may not be as bad either. We talked about this last week a little bit. There's some guys, if they show a miscut, I may go look up in the deep dive and go, oh, he missed the cut, but he shot 6 under through 3 days. He just missed it by 1 stroke. A little bit different than he shot +2 or something like that. So if you're deep diving, that's something to look at. I just think because of the price, he could be very popular in that, oh, I went with Cantley or Rahm or Scheffler or even Finau, and then now I come down to Young. Or if people are fading the 10K and they go 2 or 3 in the 9K or 2 in the 9 and drop down to the 8, he fits a lot because he's cheaply priced compared to the Willie Z, Tom Kim, Sung Jae, and I think he has, you know, similar upside as them. Only reason why I'd be off him is does he get too popular, but that's the only reason I has a bubble boy. I like him this week, plan on playing him. KH Lee, 8,300. I'll go back there. Played him last week. Played him at TOC, a 7th and a 28th those 2 weeks. He's just playing really good right now overall. Stats aren't going to pop all over the place, but they're not horrible. 15th in par 5 DK scoring, which we like. Then he's like 40th in all the rest. Outside of accurate approach, shorter term looks a little better. Want to look at some deep dive stuff here. Missed the cut his first year here. Made the last 3, a 21st, a 32nd, and a 63rd. So not great course history, but the course fit models got him 26th. I like that. At his price, I certainly, you know, give me a top 20 upside, have a chance on Sunday. I don't mind that at all for $8,300. Wyndham Clark, $8,100. Not a guy I go to a ton, but he has caught my eye of recent. A 16th at Houston, a 10th at RSM, so played really well. Only negative for him would be just hasn't played that much in January at all, really. So, but finished strong in the fall. I like that. He's made 3 out of 4 cuts here, an 18th, a 13th, a 54th, and a missed cut. So good upside there. You know, 2 top 20s he's already had. If he can get putter rolling, we know he could, you know, he's got the upside here. Luck, the price. I think the 8Ks will be lower owned in general this week. Just the way the pricing is. Maybe Montgomery and Davis pick up steam being in that high 8. But because of them, so you take maybe from Davis up, a lot of ownership's going to go there. And so I think you're going to see a big drop off from below Davis, who is, I think he's 8,800, right? So yeah, he's 8,800. So 8,700 to like 7,900. You could see a pretty good leverage spot there and figure out which ones you like. My third, obviously, is Davis, 8,800. Love him. Not getting off of him. Interested to see how high he gets in ownership. His game's got so much more consistent than what it was at one point. Remember, at one point it was always in showdown, right? Because he got so many birdies, but he had the big numbers. Last week, finished, 32nd, decent finish. He's made the cut here 3 straight years. He didn't play last year, but a 28th, 29th, and a 3rd. 3 top 30s or better. I like that a lot. The only thing that would keep me off him, again, would be if he gets really talked up is where do you make your cut? Is it Davis? Is it Cam Young? Is it Montgomery? Or do you play them all and just fade all the 10K range and hope that works out again? I mean, there's some real options there to think about once we see stuff coming in later today and into tomorrow. My bubble boy is Montgomery, for the reasons I just said. Is he going to be overlooked because everybody goes the putter? But I wrote it up in one of the showdowns. I was like, I can't fade this dude, in showdown even anymore. He just keeps draining it. Did fade him on Saturday, and it worked out. That was his bad day in the tournament, but he still finished 12th. He came back Sunday, rolled it again well, played well elsewhere. But you look at it, I think he could still be lower owned if people are going by the stats and stuff, because he's 133rd in opportunities inside 18 feet, 118th in accurate approach, 66th in good drives, but he's 10th in birdie or better and 9th in par 5 DK. With a 57th, a 15th, and a 12th his last 3 tournaments. And before that, he had a good run going. So that's the reason he's got the bubble boy. I just kind of want to see where that all shakes out between Davis and, even up to Siwoo at 9,200. Where do people, who are they on? Who are we talking about? Where's the industry at? That kind of thing I think is going to be important this week. Up top, I think everybody's going to be owned. It's just a matter of which ones you want to go with there. 7K range, I like Jaeger. Go back to him. Played him a lot last week. He flashed there at times, but finished 28th, which isn't horrible. But a 9th at Houston, 46th at RSM, 28th at Sony. He's first in par 5 DK scoring, 15th in birdie or better, 4th in opportunities inside 18 feet. I like all that. Only negative for him is he's only played here twice. It was way back in 18 and 19. Missed the cut both times. So I'm going to deep dive into that and see, does that get me off of him? But outside of that, I like him. Ben Griffin, young kid, talked about him a lot last week. Going right back to him. He finished 12th, 29th at RSM, 16th at Houston. This is his first time playing it. I don't have any worries about it. 10th in recent form, 25th in stats overall. I like Ben Griffin a lot this week. Lee Hodges, like him, he's similar to like Clark. He hasn't played yet, only nervous, and finished a little bit on a bad note with miscut. Played really well here last year, finished 3rd. Really well tee to green as well last year. Putting is always kind of his thing, but at 7,400, I get the upside. He's seen the course. He played really well, got a top 5. Stats, he's 17th overall. Recent form, 24th. Even with those 2 missed cuts, which tell me he's hitting the ball tee to green really well, because I emphasize that more on recent form. I like all that. Can we get a little bit of a good putter coming out of the break? At 7,400, I'll take my chances there. Bubble boy is Ben Taylor for me. No real reason other than 2 missed cuts here in 2020 and 2021, but he is 7K flat. I'm not in love with the 6K range, so getting down to there is good. He's 2nd in accurate approach, 17th in good drives. His last 3 tournaments, a 3rd, a 21st, and a 4th. Had some of them last week. Liked him. A little bit of a price increase. Still don't think he'll be talked up too much. I like going there, especially with what I don't really love a lot of the 6K range this week either. Speaking of that range, we'll go there. Kevin Yu, $6,900. Wrote him up, played him last week. 21st, playing well at that. Again, a weird thing is my top 3 plays are all 6,900. I don't know if I've ever done that, but 23rd in stats, 17th in recent form, 25th in birdie or better. The only negative for him is 102nd in par 5 DK scoring. Look at that on a shorter term and see if we see any spikes there. He's got limited stats anyways. Carl Yon, 6,900 as well. Playing really well. 35th, 39th, 21st at Houston, RSM, and Sony. Going to ride that form. Flash last week, played him in showdown quite a bit. 9th in the opportunities inside 18 feet, 28th in birdie or better. Enough there at this price that those are kind of guys I want to get to this week. Davis Thompson, again, another guy I played last week. Made the cut, but didn't do much. 54th, 43rd at Houston, and miscut at RSM. He has not played this course. 12th in good drives, 12th in par 5 DK scoring, 44th in birdies or better. Those are all solid stats for me. Just got to get the putter going. He's one of the, in this model, one of the worst putting in the field. So, again, that's something I can not overlook. But for this price, these guys I want to get to. He's got enough upside, stud in college, all that kind of stuff. I want to be on him more times than not. And Bubble Boy would be Austin Eckroat, the OSU boy. Only reason why I say Bubble is because maybe with him being up in the top, he was finished 12th, but being up there a lot in the weekend, does he get a little bit of steam? Maybe, but I don't see the 6K range getting a lot of steam either way. So even if he kind of gets a little bit, 4, 5, 6% is what we're talking about. Stats aren't going to look great, but man, he has great upside. Was a stud in college. I just like him in general, and he hadn't played this course, but coming off starting out really hot to start the year, I like that. And I'll ride that again this week. Again, if he starts getting way talked up where he's like 10, 12%, then no. But, if he's in that 4 or 5 range, I don't really mind that at all. Fade of the week for me is going to be Aaron Wise. Rates out fine. He finished 34th and 17th 5 years ago. Then 3 straight missed cuts here. He seems to get a lot of steam in the DFS industry, and he's right in that range between Cam Young and Davis and Montgomery and all that. That I hope he pulls some ownership away there. I don't mind fading him this week at that price. There's all those guys around him I like better. Sleeper of the week, I'll go to Callum Tarrant. Played him a lot in the fall. He did well. 26 at Houston, 2nd at RSM. He's a boomer bust guy. You can go back and look, but when he makes a cut, he normally does pretty well. Was on him a lot in the fall, talked about him a lot, wrote him up a lot. Going to stick with it. He's 35th in putting, 11th in course fit, 15th in recent form. Hit the ball well here last year, didn't putt well. I'll go there at $7,200. Some gut feel plays for me. I like Harman, 9,300. Not a guy I play a lot. Didn't play him last week. Really, let me find him. Where is he at? Maybe I did play him a little bit last week. There he is. Really good history here. 3rd, 20th, miscut, 21st, 8th, 3rd. And then coming in a 2nd, a 16th, and a 32nd last 3 tournaments. Stats are just okay. His best stat is opportunities inside 18 feet, 25th. Nothing really pops out. I think he's going to be really low where he's priced at 9,300. There's so many good guys around him that I think he gets overlooked. So as a gut feel play, maybe we get some good leverage spot there. I don't mind that. Pendrith, 8,000. I like him. Played him a lot in the fall. Really came on last year in general. He's top 16 or better in 4 out of the 5 stats that I'm looking at. Main stats, 28th is the other stat. So really, really good there. Putter's what lets him down more times than not. Missed a cut last year, didn't play well here at all, and he hasn't played again in January, so that's one negative, but I'll again, that's why it's a gut feel play. I'll take my chances there. Smalley, I avoided last week, but I may bounce back to him. $7,500, killed some people last week, missing the cut. 25th here last year, which I like. Again, in the fall, he was 4th at Houston, 5th at RSM. I don't know if I see him as the big birdie or better guy. That's why I was off him last week. So I want to look at what his round was like last year to kind of see how he got it done. But as of right now, I do like him, especially in a bounce back spot. JT Poston, a guy I liked a lot last week. I'll go back to him. 3 straight 21st, 21st, 21st finishes. So that's kind of unique. At his price, I like that. Mixed results here. 34th, miscut, 7th, 37th. Miscut 25th. So when he's made the cut, he's finished top 37 or better with the top 10. 8,000. I like that. Probably be low owned at that price. He's kind of in that range I'm looking at to be somewhat, I say dead, but a lot less owned than others. We'll take some chances there with Poston as a gut feel play this week. Link is in the description for Prize Picks and Underdog. Dollar for dollar match up to $100. Underdog put out a new set of best ball for playoffs. So it starts with this week. Obviously, they had some for the full playoffs. Saw several people in Slack advance on. So if you want to do it now, you don't have to worry about buys anymore. You can go in there and draft. I'm sure it's called the Mintner. Same deal, just a new version of it. A lot of fun. They're fun to do, especially as you're watching the playoff games. Prize Picks, I give out my picks every Wednesday on the pod, and then nightly with my bets, I put my favorite Prize Picks up. Started 9-1, I think, last week. I haven't updated Sunday stuff for that or the bets, but had a good week going. We'll see how that finished up. I'll recap that on tomorrow's pod as well. Top 5 or bets I like right now: Davis 45 to 50 in that range. Cam Young 22, KH Lee 66, Willie Z 20, Sung Jae 22. 2 long shots, I like Jaeger at 125, Ben Griffin 150. Those may be top 20 bets, but definitely like those odds a lot. One and done, my preliminary, I like Cantley, Willie Z, Davis, Young, and M. I'll give my final ones tomorrow on the pod per usual. And be sure to join me tomorrow night, E9. So I'll put out my final thoughts pod. It's about 15, 20 minutes on Wednesday mornings, maybe around lunchtime. I record it early Wednesday. And then put out final rankings and all that on Wednesday evening, and then do E9 with Kenny on elevated events, major stuff like that, and then the others I do by myself. Normally try to go live about 6:30 Eastern, 7 Eastern, somewhere in that time range. That's open to y'all. Premium members only, but I answer every question, anything you guys want to talk about. That's what we go through then. Don't forget, Smash gets you 20% off. Includes a 7-day risk-free trial. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday. Looking forward to this week. Lots of information to come out tomorrow. Let's have a good week. Thanks.